Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back for another exciting class. Continuing the first module of PowerPoint. I hope everyone had a chance maybe to play around with it. But we will dive right in. Again, I hope everyone is well. A restful day, an active day. It was beautiful outside. I made sure to get out a little bit. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Let me go ahead and screen share. Here is where I want to go. Okay, here we go. Sorry, let me just open up my Q&A. So I am looking at everything that's going on. Okay, so I'm going to assume everyone is fully engaged because no one's chatting and no one's asking any questions. So at this point, that's a good start because I can't see you. So I'm going to assume if no one's talking and no one's mentioning, then we're all good. Okay, so as you can see, I have a blank screen in my publisher. Sorry, publisher, PowerPoint. Don't worry, we're not doing it all over again, what we did yesterday. What I wanted to show you, or 2 nights ago, what I wanted to show you is how do we find the file that we were working on. So I saved the file, I closed it out. Now I open up Microsoft PowerPoint because I know I'm working on a file there. So I'm gonna go to File. Now there's a couple cool features. Oh, don't do this to me. There we go. There's a couple cool features that right away you see your most recent documents. So immediately I see the one that we were working on in the last class. That's assuming that that was my most recent document and I haven't done anything until then. However, there are many times that it does get lost in the shuffle, or I want to figure out exactly where it is located. So this is just an FYI, just to understand, I guess, the hierarchy in saving documents in general on computers. You have here the documents, that's the main folder. Then you have Microsoft Office Class, that's the subfolder. Then Microsoft PP, which is PowerPoint, and then Class 1. So I know it's located there. But if I wanted to go now find it, I would go to Open. So let's say I didn't find it. I'm going to open it. I'm going to browse in my files. Okay, could someone just text that at least someone's there? I'm not, that you guys could hear me, you could see me. I just at least need to get some confirmation. Okay, I see someone raising their hand. Okay, awesome, awesome. Thank you, thank you. Thank you. Love this digital world here. Okay, now that I see that I have your attention. Okay, so here I have my documents. I save, this is the way my mind thinks, so I know where things are. So I go in my Microsoft Office class. Now I have Microsoft Word and I have Microsoft PowerPoint. Now what you'll notice is, okay, so I'm going to open Class 1. Now, what you'll notice is that I have a lot more files in here than just PowerPoint presentations. But if you look in the bottom corner right here, it gives me a lot of different type of options to search as far as PowerPoint presentations. But notice, they're only looking for PowerPoint presentations because I'm in the software. It's only going to recognize those files that are compatible, that can be viewed on PowerPoint. So I know even sometimes you'll open a folder and then all you see are like one document. There's more documents there because it's only looking at documents that it could recognize as a PowerPoint. So I know it's in here. You see Documents, Microsoft Office. That's my subfolder, and then Class 1. And here is my document that I was working on. So I'm going to double click on that. And voila, we are right back to where we ended. So here we are. So far we got through 3 slides. We have Shelley Pet Hospital and Wellness Center, our services. Let me move, if you can see this, I just want to move that over there so it takes up less room. I have a massive screen. So for me, it doesn't make a difference, but I know someone who has smaller screens, I'm telling you, once you get used to the big screens, it's over. So I think this one's like a 32-inch. It's humongous. So anything smaller is teensy. So I have the hour services, but rest assured, I know I'll try to zoom in as close as I can. So I'm not going to assume that everyone has such a big screen. So I know PowerPoint in general, the fonts are much bigger. It's more of a presentation. So we're not dealing with such small fonts. That being said, please give me some feedback. If you are having a hard time, let me know. Okay, so we have our services is slide 2, and then we finished off last class where we entered a 3rd slide, and we chose the comparison slide. Okay, so now we will add an additional slide before we start getting all fun and games over here. So I'm going to go now. For those who already remember, what I would suggest, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to do it. I want to add a new slide with a title only. See if you can find that. Title only. Okay, I'll give it 10 seconds. 10, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, this is how I do it. I go to new slide, and I'm not going to touch this top because I don't want to enter a random slide or the default slide. I want to enter a specific slide. And if you see here, I have a title only slide. So I'm going to select that, and boom, it is right there. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 slides happening, and this is my view. And obviously, when I select when it's red highlighted around it, it knows that that's the one I have selected. So now I'm on my new slide, and we're going to do some more typing. I'm going to click on the title, and I'm going to type grooming facilities. Okay, that is all we were going to do there. Okay, we kept that very, very simple. Now we're going to get a little exciting. Okay, so we have this theme. Last class, we searched it. Either you found it by default or you searched it. So the theme that we are going to move this to, okay, it is called integral theme. Okay, so let's go to design. We're going to change up the theme here. Now I already have it available. Okay, the integral theme looks like this. It's blue default, and remember, when you highlight on the theme, it gives you the name, and it also gives you a highlight, what do they call it? Like a little sneak peek of what it actually looks like. Okay, so I click on this, and this is what my page would look like as far as the new design. What about the other 3 slides? We'll watch what happens. But I'll give everyone a second. If you find the integral, okay, so maybe if you haven't used it, maybe if you type in browse for themes, oh no, this will take you to the computer, to your document. So I honestly, I'm not sure if you don't have it here. I think it's one of the default themes anyway. But whatever the case is, I'm just going to stick with its availability here. If you don't have it, maybe just choose anyone that looks similar to design, because I think you'll be able to accomplish the same thing. Okay, so I'm going to click on integral. Now watch this. Boom. Now you notice that it did not just change the slide that I was on. It changed the entire document. Now look, everything changed. The text, the styling, where things are located, the title page is totally different. I mean, look, everything moved around on the page. So that's important to remember. When you are selecting designs in PowerPoint, you're not selecting a singular page. You're not selecting a singular slide. What you're doing is you're changing the entire format of the PowerPoint. So keep that in mind. when you are selecting themes and how it would look for the entire presentation, not just one particular page or slide that you may be focused on at the moment. Okay, so now if you notice, we have now 4 slides. We have the grooming facilities here. This is just the title page. We have the obedience class, which has the basic advanced skills with this box here. Small group sizes, we have this here. Excuse me. We have the emergency care and preventive care. And then we have the title page, okay? So now we will move to the title page. And now we're going to start getting a little more exciting with our pictures. Now, I know there were a few questions in the last class, how to download the pictures, the ones that I emailed you, how do you get them from the email that Rabbi Wordy sent out? I hope you figured it out. Otherwise, you could always just do a quick search online to find the photos. Or in any case, you could use any photos you want. But the more important thing is to practice with the photos. We're going to manipulate them. We're going to move them around. We're going to insert them into each slide. And that's what we're going to pretty much focus on for this presentation, for this class. Okay, so now I'm going to be selected on the first page here. All right, it's got the little red highlight over there. And I'm going to go back to, remember we have home, which is all our most common commands and editing commands. I'm going to go to insert. Okay, now remember, you should be familiar with this already from Word. They're the same company, so they kept many of the options similar, as well as the location, as well as the names of the different functions. So we have a picture. I'm going to insert picture, and I'm going to select from this device because I already saved these pictures on my computer. Now I'm going to go to the folder. Now here I have my folder ready right here. Oh no, that's the Microsoft Office class. I don't want that. I want the Microsoft PowerPoint. I'm going to go to class 1, and now once again I'm going to go to graphics. Here we go. Okay, so if I go to graphics, and notice all I have here are pictures, because in my little file name, what types is it looking for? It's looking for pictures. And again, you have all different types of specific picture types, but it's all pictures. So anything that the computer recognizes as a picture, it is available to see here and available to select. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the picture that's called Vet with Dog Photo. I'm going to select on it. So there we go. It's highlighted. I have a little preview over here and the file name. So just so I know that that's the exact picture that I am entering. And I'm going to select insert. And boom, there it goes. It just randomly pops on there because I didn't tell it to do anything specific. I just told it insert a picture on my page, and that's exactly what it did. So before we get busy with that, we're going to move on to the next slide. So we're going to go to slide number 2. All right, and we are now going to insert another picture. So if maybe you can figure out which picture we're going to put in here if you remember the finished product. So I'm going to go to this device, same path, insert picture device, and now I'm going to select the dog, cat, mouse picture, and I'm just going to select insert. That's going to pop in front of everything. Don't worry, we'll get back to it. Then I'm going to go to the next page, obedience class. Now here, we're going to do something a little different. We're not just going to insert into the slide like what we did before, because if you notice, again, the text boxes have all these little embedded functions, okay? So we're going to leverage one of these embedded functions to insert the picture into the box specifically, okay? So we're going to click on basic and advanced skills, the box right under, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select. Now again, if you ever want to know what anything does, or at least what it's called, and then from there you could figure out what it does if you know, or you can look it up. You just hover over it and it tells you here, insert chart, insert table, insert smart art graphic, 3D models, insert an icon, insert video, online pictures, and pictures. I chose pictures for last because I know I was going to choose it. So I want to get through the whole eight rings over there. Okay, so I'm going to click on pictures. Now watch this. Same thing pops up. It gets me back to the exact same place that I was when I was selecting the other pictures. But watch what happens differently. So now I am going to select the picture of the dog shaking hands with owner. Okay, and I'm going to select, insert. Now watch. Boom. Look at that. What it did was it fit exactly in the box itself. Now it did change the format a little bit because it's a little more rectangle than the box itself, but as you can see, it was selective to that box to remain, as opposed to the other pictures that just like a challenge, just jumped onto the page and just made a big mess of everything that we worked so hard to do. So now we'll do the same thing with small group sizes. We're going to go ahead and select pictures. Let that pop up, and we are now going to select group of dogs. There's a group of dogs. And there you have it. We now have inserted both pictures into the little boxes there. And before we get busy with that, we are going to select one more picture for grooming, and that is going to be insert, and right here, and I would imagine you could guess which one that is. That would be grooming dog. And insert, and it's so cute. Okay, so that is the pictures we are going to be working with today. Okay, so now we will move up to the first slide. Okay, so now all you got to do is just select on the first slide, and now we have this big picture. It's taking up a lot of room. Okay, so just like in Microsoft Word, when you select on a picture, you get all these little boxes here which help you move it around and also resizing it, right? So we can make it whatever size we want. But what we want to do is we want to get it exactly to be covering just above the line here, so it kind of fits in nicely onto the colored header. Okay, so I want to also get some good measuring because now I'm kind of eyeballing it. I want to get an idea of how big this picture needs to be. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go to view. Oh, and just by the way, remember when you click on a picture, you get this whole set of formatting effects for the picture, which we covered a lot of in Word. So we're going to go to view, and I want to throw in my ruler, okay? And I'm going to throw in the grid lines, okay? So that, no, not the grid lines, sorry. I'm going to throw in the guides, okay? So I got the middle of the page, and the both perpendicular and vertical. Okay, so I'm gonna measure it here. Now I'm just looking, the exact measurement that I guess they're telling you here is a, okay, 5.21 and 7.81. Okay, so if you already know how to get that exact measurement, there's different ways to do it. I could start schlepping here, and schlep down here. That's one way to do it. And you know what? By all means, that probably is a quicker way to do it, but I think for the intensive purposes, I want to go back to the exact height because it's important that we know where that is, and sometimes you do need to get it down to the exact measurement. So we're going to do a 5.21. Press enter, and that's slightly larger, and I'm just going to get it on top. Now watch. When I move this around, what you'll notice is when I lock it in place, where's it go? It should give me, it gets dark, right? There we go. You see that? You saw that? You saw when I get it right on the money there, this checkered line or dotted line gets solid because it lets me know it's dead center in the as far as the picture to the page. Okay. So that's all what we're going to do for this. So again, I just did 5.21 and it proportionately resized the other side, which was 7.83. So that's going to work for me. I'm not going to go any further than that. So that's exactly where I wanted this picture to be. Okay, so right now we'll check off this page and we will go on to the next page. Ah, we're stuck. Okay, and here we go. We got this cute little picture here. We'll go to format, and I think this is a funny sizing because it's telling me I want a 5.22. So I'm going to select this. I'm going to do 5.22. Now what's different here is that this is more of a square than a rectangle. So we're just going to deal with that. I know it may look a little funny, but I will stretch it just a little bit and put on a little weight. Sorry, guys. Okay, so there we go. Yeah, that's what happens. You're sitting in quarantine all the time. I gotta laugh at my own joke. Sorry. Okay, so I have it resized here, and again, if I go to format, I'll see exactly the sizing. I think that looks right about where I want it to be. Then I'm gonna move on over to the next page. So here's the thing, by the way, as I was doing this, I realized I don't want obedience classes to be my third slide. I want it to be my fourth slide. Okay, so excuse me. So how do I do that? How do I get this slide to move there? So okay, I was trying to make it more complicated than it is. It's really simple. Just slap it. That's it. You want to move a slide first, second, third, fourth? There you go. You just move it wherever you want. So here, yeah, that's literally what you got to do. You just got to move it up and down. Okay, so let me just tell you. For this picture, what I did was, I'll show you. I'll just go back to the sizing. The height I did was 522, and then I just kind of pulled the sides to make it to fill up a little more room on the page. But the height was 522. Okay. So now I'm gonna go to the grooming facilities. Now, grooming facilities, I'm gonna highlight that. And this one, I think I'm gonna make it a little bigger than what they propose because it's a smaller picture. So I'm gonna go like this. So notice, by the way, what's important when you're resizing, if you want to keep the proportion of the picture, you want to always select the corners, okay? That's a really important rule in regards to resizing your picture, okay? Because if I just select here, that's what it does. It warps the picture and the sizing. Another trick is also, let me just check it. No, maybe that was on a different program. Yeah, okay, so let me just, okay. So if I hit control and the mouse, if I hold down the control bar and the mouse, it duplicates my movement. So which can be helpful if you want to duplicate, maybe you're doing a weird shape on one side and you want to duplicate that action on the other side, then that's what it will do. But I'm going to return this to its original. There we go. So again, you want to click any of the corners is fine, and I'm going to just pull it out till it gets to a point where I think, there we go. And watch, you saw that? You see that little red guy right there? Watch. Boom. Right there, that was my margin. That was a little indicator. That's my margin. It's telling me that, hey, you've reached the edge of your paper there. It's enough. You're going too deep. Okay, so there you have it, and we're going to put that right in the middle. But how do I know it's in the middle? Because we got our sizing guards here. Remember, we went to View, We got our ruler and we got our guides, and we just slide it. Where are you going? There we go. Right there. Oh, 1 second. Interesting. Okay, sorry. So again, I was looking for, so yeah, my question is, what is that measuring up to? I think that's measuring up to the box. Maybe this box, maybe it's that center of the box. Yeah, but I wanted the center of the page. And there, I want right there, and there you have it. That is nicely centered. Okay, so now I will move to back to the pause picture. Okay, so now we're going to get a little creative with the pause picture. So I'm going to move back up here to our services. Okay. Okay, let me just take a time out here. I think we had a nice sprint. We went on for a good 25 minutes. Let me take a couple minute break here, and I see there's a few questions coming up. Okay. Okay, Jack, I see you're trying to find your PowerPoint file. I hope you found it. If you just go into PowerPoint itself, you should be able to locate that because it will find only the PowerPoint presentations on your computer. So that may help you narrow it down. Okay, Anonymous here. What is the default slide and how is it set? The default slide is probably, it depends on the theme really, but it usually, when you're here, if I'm going to enter a new slide, it will go based on the last, it looks like it went based on the previous slide. So it just is duplicating the previous slide. So the previous slide was this comparison. So it duplicated that. If I do it right after here, if I just select new slide, what will happen? It duplicates that. So that's what, when I guess, I'm assuming when you're referring to the default slide, it just goes based on what you have previously selected. Okay, so Mary, you're asking if there is a way to choose one specific theme. I have not seen it, okay, as far as the themes go. However, if that is important to you, you'll see as we learn more about PowerPoint, you literally could manipulate any page to make it look however you want. So a theme is really just universal formatting, universal colors. But again, you could control that on a single page. If you just want one page to have a certain theme, then absolutely you could do that. You could design it however you'd like. Okay, so here's a good point. Edge of printing as edge of pages of printing. Well, PowerPoint you could print. It is printable, and we'll actually go through all your printing options at the end of this class because it's actually really cool the type of printouts that you could have for PowerPoint because of its function as a more of a presentation tool. So there are a lot more options for printing than your standard Word document, which is just basically to read. PowerPoint is for engagement, is for note-taking. So there are a lot more printing opportunities as far as PowerPoint. So that is just there to help you also be symmetrical as far as the edge of the, so just it helps you keep balance of the pages. And if you notice, it helps, they have all these rulers that are telling me how things are lining up as far as the different boxes without actually showing them. It gives me little indicators of how symmetrical it is and where it's going to be located as far as the other items on the page. Okay, I have a question here on page 1. How does one center the picture in the blue? So, okay, if I understand the question correctly, is the question, how do you make sure that this picture is exactly centered? And if that's the question, I would just, so what I'm doing is I'm just using my rulers, my aligners, what do we call them exactly? My guides, to let me know when I hit the center. So as soon as the middle bar turns solid, that tells me that it's exactly in the middle of the page. Oh, okay, you explained your question. So I guess your question is, how do you make this background the whole thing? So that you would go to design and you have the format background here. So you have background styles and you could just manipulate whatever style you want. You could do effects, you could do fonts, you could do colors. So again, that is the theme. So I'm not going to try to figure out here how to get that specific design to fill your whole page, but these are your options as far as, see, there's a lot of different options here, but let me just Control Z that. Okay, so that's in a nutshell as far as that. Okay. All right, I think we will dive right back in. Okay, so we left off at, where am I at? Okay, so now we're gonna go back to our services, slide number 2, and we will play around, get a little creative here as far as the picture. We're gonna add another picture and format it in a creative way. So I am going to go back to insert. I'm gonna go to my pictures. I'm going to select on this device, and I am going to select dog paws, and I'm going to press insert, and it's going to pop up like that. There it is, it's just all over the place. So I'm going to do a couple of things. Now, for starters, I want this to be sideways, okay? So I'm going to zoom, excuse me, I'm going to zoom out a little bit here. Okay, I zoomed out because if you notice, this is the size, exact size of the page. So I wasn't able to see my rotator, but that is my rotator. So you'll see it on every picture, but we're actually going to use it this time. So I'm going to click on the picture. It's going to be highlighted. It's going to give me all my formatting tools. I'm going to click on this circle, and I'm just going to spin it around and just drag it slowly until boom. See, it you notice when I get it straight exactly, whether it's perpendicular or vertical, it locks. It kind of gives it a little lock. Look, boom, boom. You see that? Boom. There we go. Okay, so I will get that. So I want it to be sideways because we're going to make believe like these animals are running around somewhere. Okay. So I'm going to bring that down here, but it's too big. I got to resize it. So for starters, I want to change the sizing. Now, bear with me here because this is a little different than what they had. So I had to get a little more creative as far as how do I get it in a way that will kind of look okay. because the picture they had was like flat or straight. This one, it kind of was at an angle, so I could technically go like this, but then it's like all funny. So I'm not going to spend too much time editing or formatting the picture. So we're just going to keep it flat like this. Sorry. And we're just going to, I'm going to drag it down a little bit, just like that. So it's kind of like a little smudgy. And I'm going to get that right under. So we're talking here for size, the width is 1.99, the height is 7.51. Oh, haha. But it's opposite, because now that I flipped it, it's really, the height now is 199. Okay, so it's a little, I'm gonna make it a little shorter. Let's bring it to, there we go. That's a little better. So 164, it almost looks like it's kind of like 3D. It's like coming off the page even at that angle, which is kind of cool actually. So I'm gonna turn it a little bit on the side there. And there you have it again. If you want to know the exact size, I have it at 7.51. You know what? Let's go like this, 7. There we go. We'll go 7 inches height, but technically it's wide, and we got 1.53 inches long. Okay, so notice, look at that. See? Now since it's measuring a lot of things right now. If you notice, first it's giving me the inch from the bottom. If I go here, it is now telling me it's in the middle of the page. Now, watch this. If I come here, it will tell me, oh, now it's telling me it's in the middle of the picture. So, which is really cool, because you see the page is constantly calculating all the dynamics and all the shapes to help you really be very symmetrical in your slide. So everything could literally be exactly where you want to have it. You can be everything exactly symmetrical. So again, just a review here. We turned it from that little circle on the top, okay? And when I click it, I got to hold it down to get it moving, okay? And then I'm just gonna swap it sideways, and I see it lock, and that is my paw prints for that page. Okay, just give me a second here. Okay, first and foremost, let's make sure we saved if you haven't saved yet. So click save. Okay, I'm just seeing where we are right now. Okay, now we're going to get into a little more editing. Okay. All right, so this is what we're going to do. Click save. We can go to file. And we are going to close. Close. Ah. All right. Don't worry, we'll go back right in a second. Okay. Okay, just real quick, I see about the resizing of your pictures. The resizing is going to default, keep it symmetrical to whatever size that you adjust. So if you just slide it back and forth, it should allow you to manipulate it. And just when you enter that size, you just press enter in that box and it should change it. I hope that answered the question. Okay, so now we're going to reopen it. Okay, so now we're going to leverage the recent tab. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and just go to new, or sorry, we're not new. We go to file. We're going to go to open, or we just go to recent tab right here, double click on that or click on it once, and boom, we're right back to where we started. So I hope everyone has it back open and ready to go. So we are going to make a few different changes here. First, we're going to go to we're going to go to page 3. All right. click on page 3. All right, we got page 3 here. And we're going to go to grooming facilities, and we are going to double click that. No, just highlight that, and we're going to delete it. Okay, we're going to change it. We don't like facilities. We like services. Dogs will appreciate it more if it's called a service, not a facility. So that being said, we will type, what am I doing? Services. Grooming services. All right. So now we hope that dogs will be more inclined to participate in our grooming services, because before it was grooming facilities. Now that it's grooming services, we are good to go. So now what we're going to do is we are going to play around with the theme, colored theme, okay? So now it's blue. We wanted a little more of a natural tone. I believe that's what the colors we're choosing. Forgive me if I didn't get that right. Okay, we're going to go with a more natural tone. So we are going to go to design, and we're going to go click on colors. Okay, so remember that. So here, again, these are our themes. Our themes, again, the difference between a theme and variants. A theme, it already has all the formatting already integrated into that selection. Okay, so you're going to change everything about the page, which, if you remember, initially when we had the what's it called again? The gallery? No. I forget. Oh, here it is. Called parcel. Originally, when we had parcel theme, everything was in line with that. The font, the location of the words, everything was consistent. So if I select a new theme, then everything changes. But let's say I like the theme, but I don't like the colors. The colors are not my liking. It's not in line with our company. It's just not the right. It's not the right season. So, yeah, blue. I would go anyway with a more summer color here. So I'm gonna go then to variants. So variants, you see, it keeps the theme, but now it gives us a bunch of different options. Now, even this, you see, it's the same type of theme, but it's giving a different header design. Here you have a solid. Here you have, different colors double coated. Okay. So what we want to do is we're going to go to colors. Okay. So now it gives us a bunch of different colors here. And what I want to select is, I think we're going to go with yellow orange. Yellow orange. Okay. We'll select yellow orange. And now it didn't really change much. I mean, they're very subtle changes, but if you look here now, all the bars are orange. The coloring all changed. So now we selected a new coloring for the pages, and I like this much better. It's more softer on the eyes. It's like a sandy brown color. So like this golden retriever here on the front page. Same colored theme. So that's more in line with what apparently we're going for. Okay. That is a wrap as far as this. I think that's all the manipulation we're going to do. Okay, we're still going to play around with a few things. But as far as the slide itself, we're done with the slide itself, okay? We have our 4 slides, we're complete. This is a presentation. Now, I'm going to start showing you some presentation tools, and this is really cool. Because when you're giving your presentation, you don't want to have to memorize everything, and you want to be able to get some notes, and you don't always want to put your notes on the page to show everybody. They're just back-end notes or messages or reminders that no one else needs to see, or you don't want them to see. So how do you put those notes into your presentation that you can see it when you're giving your presentation, but no one else can? So I have there's this really cool feature, and to show you this feature, we are going to go to, let's see, Grooming facilities. Wow, we really like the grooming facilities. Okay, so we're going to go back to grooming. Sorry, wow, I'm still on facilities. It's services, my bad. Grooming services. Okay, we're going to select slide 3, grooming services. Okay, so at the bottom here, if you haven't noticed, we have a few bunch of different options. We got a slide number, the one that I'm selected, slide 3 of 4. So more than just, so by the way, of course, you could shrink this and make it bigger, which again, that would be helpful. Excuse me, especially if you have like 20 slides and you can't see them all here. So you could make that larger or smaller. And then over here, we have notes, get to that. We got comments, and then we have different viewing options. So here we got a bunch of different fields, and then we have the reading pane. But I am going to select our standard view with the preview on the side. Okay, so now I'm going to select on notes. Now watch this. You see this little pop-up came here. All right, I'm going to drag it a little bigger. Okay, now let me move this out of the way. Okay. All right, so now these are some notes that these are some talking points that when I'm talking about our grooming services, I want to make sure that I touch. Okay, so okay, so the cursor is right here. All right, and I see something. Make sure that. Okay, so all you got to do is just click your text, and there you have it. And by the way, if you notice, look, if I click here, I lose all my formatting font options, right? Because I have to select on something that does text, right? If I click down here, then boom, I get all my font options. So we're talking font, color, formatting, paragraph, indent, bullets. So you have, this is just like a Word document on your slide. So you have all your formatting and typing. Can you? So if you can't see it, I haven't typed yet. So this is me. I'm down here. Can you see it now? Because there's nothing there until you start typing. So I mean, it should catch on because it's on my screen. But again, if you go to notes, all right now there's nothing there yet. So here you see this little note here that's pre-populated that basically tells you click to add notes. Okay, so I'm going to click on that. That goes away, and now I have all my typing functions. And I'm going to type like this: we offer quality dog and cat grooming services performed by our experienced pet stylist. Nice. We will pamper your pet. Pamper. Okay, as I'm typing this out, remember your note options are right here. You gotta click on this. Look, you see, if you click on it, it disappears. Boom, boom, whoop, whoop. So just click on your little note button there, and it pops up a little box here where you can type whatever you want. So we will pamper your pet with a bath, nail trimming. Wow. And air cleaning. Fantastic. Services vary in price Nice. Price based on the animal's size and breed. Okay, let me, again, as you see, you get all your spell check functions too. And again, the location of your notes, if you missed it, it's not on your top tabs. It's located on every single slide independently. You have a note button here, okay? So we offer quality by our experienced pet stylist. Okay, so now this is nice that it's under, practically speaking, what do we do with this? All right, well, we'll get there in a minute. So again, we have an option, just like in Word. Just like in Word, we have spell check. I think I already did all my spell checking as we were moving, because it gives me the red line, and the red line just annoys me, and I just like to correct it. Nip it in the bud, as they say. So for those who haven't done so, make sure you have the spell check. There's a number of places to do it. Here you have this little spell check here. You have it by, where is it, review. You have spell check here by your proofing tools. And if you added it by your quick access toolbar, you have it here. So always make sure that you do spell check. And again, spell check will check everything, including your notes, even though they're not on your actual presentation. Okay, so I hope everyone completes their spell check. And okay. Just give me a second here. Okay. So now we're going to go into a little bit of the presentation itself. Okay. So we are now going to go to, so we're going to now play it as a slideshow so you can see how to maneuver it back and forth. So you have a bunch of options here at top. Okay. You have from beginning, from current slide, present online, custom slide, setup slideshow, hide slow, rehearse timings, record slideshow, play narrations, view timing, show media, use presenter view, monitor, automatic, primary monitor. So I want to do it on my monitor 2, my 32-inch screen, because then it will keep it in your purview. You'll be able to see it on the screen recording. And then there's a presenter view. We're not going to get into presenter view yet, but there's also a quick way to just play your slideshow. If you just go here, right next to your Zoom, your Zoom slide, you have this little button. It looks like, I don't know how you describe that. It looks like one of these the whiteboards, that you project on a projector screen. There we go. So you just click on that, and there you go. So so I'm going to press escape. We're going to start from the beginning here, okay? So I'm going to go select on my 1. Now I can do it from the beginning, because when I click on this slideshow, it just defaults to the current slide that I'm using. But I'm going to escape that, and I'm just going to go from beginning. Okay, so now we're going to begin our slideshow from the beginning. So here, this is what everyone's looking at. So notice here we got a few whited out tools that if you're giving this presentation, this will tell you. First, you have like laser pointer. Okay, you have a few manipulations here. If you want to focus on something, especially if you're giving like a webinar and you're using I'm giving a webinar. I'm on webinars all the time. This is how we communicate nowadays anyway. So, the presenter, you're presenting and you're sharing your screen, and it's a slideshow. This PowerPoint already has built-in functions to help you highlight. You could highlight things. like that. Erase all ink on slide. And then you have the laser pointer. And here it shows you a snapshot. Okay, let me go back. Let me show you that. So right here, this gives you a snapshot. So again, we have this. These are pointing actions. Okay, you have a pen, highlighter, laser pointer. Then you have here, this gives you a snapshot of all your slides that are in this presentation. Okay, this is a quick glance in your slideshow view, which shows all your participants or anyone that you're showing. We have 4 slides, or even for yourself, just to see what's coming up. And then we have zoom. You could zoom into something. If you want to show something specific, give something a little more attention. Get me out of here. Okay, just press escape if you get stuck. Okay, so I do have the highlight here. Maybe let's get a little, how about green? No. Oh, I guess I can't choose. Well, sorry. I can't choose the color of my highlight, but here I am. So I'm going to continue here. So we have the zoom option that allows me to zoom in on a specific part of the, to give a little attention, to zoom in on a particular part of the presentation. Press escape, that gets me out of my zoom. And then here's some further options. Okay, show presenter view. We have the screen, black screen, white screen, arrow options, and then we have the end show. But here, so there's 2 ways. Okay. There's a few ways to go from slide to slide. Okay. There is the arrow button here. Okay, which go to the next slide. Go back here. You have, so again, that's right on the bottom, this hidden menu here. You could right-click on your mouse and you just go to the next slide. Okay. Or you could just use your arrow buttons. On your arrows, just go down, and there you have it. You go to the next slide. You can move around, see what everyone's doing. You go to the next slide, and you go to the next slide. Okay, and if I press escape, oh, it wasn't selected. There we go. I press escape, and that gets you out of your slideshow, and now you are viewing the document in PowerPoint itself. Okay, so about those notes. Okay, so let me just see something here for a second. Let me go to from beginning. Okay, so okay, so I'm gonna now show you. Okay, I hope everyone's with me here. I'm gonna show you now the function of the presenter notes. So this is really cool because now you could probably, now you'll be able to appreciate when you see someone giving a presentation, they're looking at 2 screens, okay? So if you notice, number 1, I selected use presenter view, okay? So I selected user presenter view. I'm gonna start from the beginning. Now, give me a second. I gotta change my screen share. Okay. I hope you could all see that now. Okay, so this is called the presenter screen. Okay. Now on the presenter screen, there's a lot of very functional tools for one who's giving a presenter. for one who's presenting the PowerPoint. That's why it's called the presenter screen. So you see some very practical functions here. Number one, you have the current slide. And for those who, you know, let's say you're giving a presentation and they tell you have a certain time frame, well, there you go. You have your timer right there. So you can even pause it. There we go. Okay, so let's say, you know, you have 15 minutes to give a presentation, and you know you have it down to the minute. So you know exactly how much time you need to spend on each slide. Well, here you have it. You have a timer right here that defaults to just time once you start a presentation, or you could reset, and then you just start. So now that is helpful, keeps you on track and on pace to give your presentation in a timely fashion and get through it. Whoa, sorry, I forgot I'm in the presenter mode, so every time I move my mouse a little bit, it goes. So that timer is automatically there as part of your presenter settings. Then I have my current slide. So this, what it means, the current slide is what everyone's looking at right now. Right now, everyone who is looking at my presentation is looking at this slide, okay? Now, the next slide is, as you're talking, you're obviously prepared that, just to give you a heads up, oh, okay, this slide is coming up. Now, whatever you need to prepare for it, you know that that's the one. That's the next one. So, and here again, you have all these options. You have the pen and laser pointer. Let's say laser pointer. And you see now whatever I'm doing on my screen is showing on the presentation screen. And I don't think I could show you both at the same time, but what you saw before that I was doing the presentation is happening on my screen that I'm looking at. And again, you have all the same view, but now with this presenter view, only you see this, okay? Only you were the one who saw it like that. Everyone else was still looking at your first slide that was already shown to everybody else. Okay, so now I'm done with this slide. I'm going to go to the next slide. Now, again, I have the same function. I have our services here. We got emergency care. We got preventive care. We apparently handle all different types of animals. And I wouldn't consider mice pets in New York. But that's the slide I'm on. So slide number 2, everyone's looking at it. I do my whole spiel. This is what's going on. And now it's time for slide 3. Now, check it out. If you notice right here, what popped up here are my notes that I put in to my presentation. So this is the advantage and the value of adding notes to any slide, even if it just, you know, points of reference, talking points, whatever you want. This is exactly where you put it in. You put it in your notes, because as you're giving this presentation, this is exactly my talking points. We offer quality dog and cat grooming services performed by our experienced pet stylists. We will pamper your pet with a bath, nail trimming, and ear cleaning. Services vary in price based on the animal size and breed. I didn't skip a beat there. I was so professional because I'm just reading it. But that is the purpose of these notes, and that's why you would want to use these notes, especially if you're giving a big presentation and there's a lot of talking points, and especially if you're dealing with a lot of variables or a lot of data points, and you want to make sure that you touch on every single one. This is where you would put it. And of course, you could change the font size, and this would be functional. This, if you had more, let's say you had 10 talking points, and it was a slide with a bunch of data that you wanted to make sure you touched every single point, you could just shrink the font size and make sure you could fit that all on one screen. So when you're done with this, you go to slide 4, you do your spiel, and then end the slideshow, click to exit. So this is the final slide, and as you can see, it's black. So everyone knows it's over, and we will end the slideshow and just new share. We'll go back to screen. Two, and we will, okay. So now this is what, again, everyone else was seeing. I'm gonna end slideshow, and now I'm back to my original screen. Okay, how are we doing? How are we doing? So again, presenter view is right here. Okay, all you got to do is select or deselect. Now, what that is doing is just basically defaulting. So, like if you just want to review it for yourself, you don't have to select the presenter view. You could just, do it regularly on your desktop, or you could just click this, that quick view, and then you can just scroll through as you just want to see, as you want to see the slide. Press escape. Oops, sorry. There we go. And now I'm back here. Okay. How are we doing? Any questions? Okay, I see there were a bunch of questions about presenter view. I hope everyone got it. Okay, good. Good. Okay. So yeah, it's just a selection. Okay, so again, it's just this presenter view right here. You go to slideshow, and here's all your options as far as how you want to show this slide to your participants and what they're going to see. Okay, so make sure you save, Control S. Okay, make sure we save. We've worked hard enough on this. Okay, so now we are going to go into our printing options. Okay, so like I mentioned before, PowerPoint is a presentation tool. However, there are many reasons why you would want to print a PowerPoint. I know for myself, I've many a time printed a PowerPoint because the information is easy, and I wanted people to also be able to write notes and take notes as they're hearing that information. So we go to File, and we go to Print. Okay, so right next to the Home button, we got the File button. We're going to click again on File, and we're going to select Print. Okay. So it's off the bat, it's pretty standard printing options, right? Just like it was in Word. We have the print, how many copies you want, and the printer. If you have a printer already selected that will print, you could fax it, you could print it as a PDF, do a lot of different things. And then you have print all slides, print current slide, custom range, which ones do you want to do? Maybe you only want to print 2 and 4. Whatever the case is, those are your standard options. Okay, now here we go. Now this is where your print options become a little more dynamic with PowerPoint. As you notice here, you don't see these options in your regular print options because they're not really applicable. When you're printing a Microsoft Word document, you just need the papers. You just need the document. You don't need to do anything else with it. Here, not necessarily do I need a big picture of a grooming services with a big puppy on it to hand out to everybody. That just takes up a lot of ink, and it just takes up a lot of paper. So what would be one of the reasons why I'm printing it out? Because maybe we want to go through it and take notes, maybe get some feedback on the design. So I don't need to take up that much room, that much ink. So again, I select on the full page. So my print slides per page. So I have the full page slide, that's pretty standard. Now I have this note slide, okay? The notes, what it does, it takes your header page, and just by the way, if you notice, the standard size for a PowerPoint is not your standard 8.5 by 11. It is much wider. It's a widescreen design. So when you're printing it, it's going to have to resize it. It's not exactly the page of a 8.5 by 11. So this is actually shrunk to fit an 8.5 by 11. But if you look at your size of the presentation itself, it is not the size of 8.5 by 11. Just as an FYI. Okay, so my note pages. These are notes. This is just small on top and notes at the bottom, like, hey, our services. What other services do you think we should offer in the next 6 months? You know, write your notes on the bottom and give it in the end of the day, whatever it is. That's one. And just by the way, if you notice, this has the notes. So any notes that you had written are included in this presentation. So that is for the presenter. So you have the full pages, full page option. You got the notes pages. So this is for any ad hoc notes, and more importantly, the notes that you've already typed into that slide are going to be printed among this into the slides that you wrote them. And then you have the text outline, which this is actually pretty cool because this gives you an outline, literally an outline of your slide. So it takes basically all the text and it breaks it down how it looks in each of your slides. So this is the first slide. The header is Shelley Pet Hospital and Wellness Center, and then on the bottom, quality care for pets and their families. 2, our second slide is our services emergency. It even kind of replicates your formatting as well, even with a few indents here. So it's a very cool snapshot without looking at the pictures, especially let's say if you have 10, 15 slides, you want to get a good quick glance at all your slides on one page just to give you, okay, what am I prepared for? Just remind me what's my outline, what's my train of thought as I'm going through all my slides. So this is a great tool for the presenter. Okay, so these are our 3 print layouts for pretty much designated for the one who's giving the presentation. Now we have what's suitably called the handout pages. So now you want to give out a handout. You don't just want to be talking to everyone. You also want to be able to give handouts to those you are speaking with so they could follow along, whether it's the pages, whether it's the points of data. So this is 1 slide per page. As you notice, it's much smaller. It just a simple handout. And there's, you know, default here that we'll get in a second because you have a header. We'll get there in a second. But it defaults the date on top, page number at the bottom, and that's what it looks like as far as slides. So now you have also 2 slides, which I actually like to do. I like to print out with, depending on the type of data that I am printing out, 2 slide, first of all, obviously saves a lot of paper. It cuts everything down in 2, and it's easier to go through. It takes up much less room. But there's even one, you have this one is, I like this one. If it works for the slide, this I like a lot because it's, as you can see, it gives you a slide and then it has notes on the side of it. So as you're going through the data, obviously you have to think practically speaking, does this work? But here, if I go to 100, okay, yeah, it is kind of hard to read, especially it has some small text there. But again, each presentation is its own and everyone has their own needs. Everyone has their own crowd. So you choose what works for you. And then, of course, you could have just smaller pictures. You could go up to 6. That's how small they would go. You could go even up to 9. That's how small they will be. So again, whatever, and then of course you go vertically also, up, down. So obviously this is just based on the needs of that presentation. Okay, another feature, if you noticed when I was printing out, not so much, so here you have a default page number here, and you have, when I'm printing out the handouts, it gives a date on top. But let's say I want people to know what this presentation is called, right? So I go to edit, header, and footer. So it's important to differentiate between the header and the footer, because this is what you're gonna now start doing is you're gonna be manipulating it for its print out. Okay, so number one, you see the print is selected, the page number is selected. Okay, and updated automatically. The selection here, date and time, is automatically updated. So we can have that option to, so it's default that selection. And again, if you notice, I'm selecting here. Let me get my spotlight guy here. Okay, if you notice, I am on the notes and handouts page. So that's why if I go to my slide, it doesn't have, it has, I thought it didn't, slide number, 1 second. I thought, 1 second. If I go to page slide here, hold on. There, it does not have, so let me see something. If I go to slide, date, time, update automatically, and I have the slide number here, apply to all, and then boom, you see that? You see what I just did? I just added now the page and the page number. Let me show you again. Let me erase that, apply all. So now it's gone. So now if I look from the presenter view on my slides, I don't have the date, I don't have the page number. However, all I got to do is go to edit header. I click on the slide here. I select on date, automatically update the date of today, and I do a slide number. And you have the option of don't show it on the title page, but I'll do apply to all, and there you have it. So now as I go through, I got, let me zoom in a little bit so you can see it. That's a little too close there. I have 2, and I got the day, the date. I have 3 and the date, 4 and the date, and that's it. And also, of course, you could change. Let's say if you want to be a little more economical as far as color, and you just want to do grayscale. That's your grayscale. Again, that's right at the bottom here. You have your color options. You could do grayscale, or you could even go even further and go black and white. Depends on your needs and what you feel is necessary for the document. So that is, in a wrap, all your printing options for pretty much any PowerPoint presentation. Okay, let's see if we got any. Okay, just give me a second here. I just want to make sure that we. Okay, so I think I will take this opportunity. So I see a few people have a question. How did I do the date? Where's the header? Check this out. All right, so let's ask your question. Enter date. Oh, date and time. Let me do that again for you. Because one of the things that is extremely useful is, and it's amazing how user-friendly, intuitive they've made the help buttons. You know, it used to be you type in whatever your question is and the program cannot figure out what it is you want. Here it's extremely intuitive, and look, it even shows you some popular questions, what we were just working on, as well as it tells you some actions that someone just typed. Chaya asked, how do I do the date? So good, I do, how do I enter date? Press enter, and then I'll have a little help guy come up here. Add slide numbers, page numbers, or the date and time. I click on that, and then it shows me exactly what to do. To add header and footer information handouts, edit page numbering and foot edit. So this exactly shows you how to do it. It also recently used actions. I have here my date and time to quickly get to that. So here is also different ways to locate and to figure out how to do a specific action in PowerPoint. So again, you just want to go to date and time. That can be found also by insert. Remember, by insert, you go date and time. We have header and footer, which also gives you your slide number here. So they're pretty much all going to get you the same, even slide number, it all comes up to the same same pop-up, because it's all different requests, all under the same window that it's available. So I think that's a wrap as far as this is concerned. I know it's 9:30, so we still got time. Here's what I'll do. I know I sent you a bunch of the trial stuff, and I think it's definitely worth a try to create it. Excuse me. Let me just see if you have any questions. Okay, your PowerPoint doesn't have the help icon at the top of the middle. So this light bulb here, but it should. So if you don't have this icon, there are usually, if you select something, usually is represented by a question mark. I'm just trying to think. Okay, so Alt Q. So try Alt Q. So maybe try Alt Q. Let me type that answer to you. Alt plus Q. Try that and see if that works. Okay. Is there a class May 25th Memorial Day evening? You know what? I don't mind there being, but again, I would imagine, you know, a lot of people are off work. A lot of people are spending time with their family. I guess let me touch base with Rabbi Wordy after this class, and I will, and I guess maybe give your feedback as well. You know, in the reminder, if there's enough people that are going to be busy, maybe we'll delay it. But in any case, we're always going to record it. So I guess we'll find out, because I personally, I don't mind. I don't mind doing it. And the next class is going to get a lot more involved in PowerPoint with the presentation. We're going to create all custom designs, and it's actually quite exciting. I'm looking forward to it myself. But we will touch base as far as that's concerned. Okay, so I saved this document. Amazing job. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open a new folder. I'm going to browse, and I will pull up one of our practice sessions, okay? How about let's go college success. Okay, so this is a header page, and we got another page. Now this design is called Ion. It's called Ion Design, I-O-N. For those who want to challenge themselves, how would you find Ion? So I would go to a new presentation, and how am I going to find Ion? I mean, there's hundreds and thousands of different templates. So what am I going to do? I'm going to search in my online templates and themes. I'm going to type in Ion, and I'm going to press enter. And apparently there's a few different designs for my Ion design. I have Ion Boardroom, I have Ion Design. I like the Ion Boardroom, very cool. I'm gonna select on that. Okay, so now even here, I get to choose what's my default design, what color coding that I want. So it was the blue design, and I actually really like this color coding, and that green, that lime green, and I'm gonna click on create. Okay, so Jack, I'll send you the pictures afterwards. And if anonymous attendee, if you give me your email, I will send you the pictures for the practice. Okay, so I have this in here. Now, if we go back to, okay, so this is what I want to replicate. I got a picture, okay? I got some text over here, and I got a bunch of text over here. So I'm gonna go back to my other screen, and here I believe you write college success. I'm gonna do this. Okay, and I'm gonna write in here strategies for academic achievements. Student name. Okay, so that is my okay, so that is where I typed my documents. Now again, when you're doing new slides, remember, this is where you're able to select the different types of slides that you want to enter. So my next slide I wanted as a title and content. Okay, so I'm going to select on my title and content. Okay, and there you have it. I have a little design on top, and my word box underwards, because that is my design and Title and content. Let me just see something. Effects, background styles. Why is this not black? Okay, so okay, so thank you, Linda, for posting in the chat. So there is a class scheduled for the 25th. Okay, so we will be back on for Monday. All right, Monday night. We will be back on, and we will have our class. And for those who aren't going to be able to make it, you'll be able to just watch the video and participate in the next class on Wednesday. Okay, so again, so here, when I'm entering, when I'm at a home, I want to add a new slide. I have all these options here. Okay, so now I wanted to add a picture. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into Insert, Picture, go to this device, and I think you go to class 1 and go practice. Should show me. There we go. So I have my pre-saved pictures, and there, it's a big one, but I don't need it that big. I wanted to resize it, and now, you know, maybe this blue is not, I don't like this. I don't know, I don't like the contrast, right? So let me go ahead and maybe play around. There we go. Play around with the picture a little bit, maybe try to get a little more in line. No. That's pretty cool. Ooh, that's cool. How about that? All right, that's pretty cool. It's like a little faded out there. A little green hue. Maybe do a little shade. That's cool. I'll give it a little 3D effect, like a pop out effect there. That's cool. A little shadow around the sides. Okay, so, okay, just Chaim, if you can, I see you're typing in the chat. If you could, if it's a question for me, if you could just question, put it in the Q&A, so I'll make sure that I know it's for me. But I do see your questionnaire. I don't get the whiteboard when I click on Ion. Can you please explain how you got that? So it seems apparently that there's different types of Ion presentations, because when I initially selected Ion, it was the whole, oh, here, this is it. Which one is this? Oh, this is circuit, no. So let me just see here if we could, colors, background styles, format background, let's see. If I do color, picture or texture, picture. I'm just trying to see if I could find the option to manipulate the borders here. I believe there is a way to do it. Gradient fill, no. Solid fill, no. Pattern fill. So that's looking at the format background. Let's see. No, that will take me back here. So I'm sorry, I don't know. I don't know why it would be either giving you or not giving you that layout. Sorry. Okay, so contrast, again, we're gonna go to just the formatting tool, and you're just gonna go to color. So color gives you a lot of different colorations, fades, and if you have a theme, it will give you a kind of the theme coloring, and then you could just select on. You could just select on the theme that you want. So here you have the color tone, color saturation, and then you have the actual color itself, and then you have a lot more variations of that. Color correction, this just you control the brightness and contrast and sharpen. These are just a lot of different filters, which today everyone uses filters on their pictures in social media and everything. So these are just filters for, you know, your graphics or your pictures that you insert into your document. Okay, so hi, I believe I showed you again how to select your different slide types. You just go to home, and there, when you click on the slide button at the bottom, you get all those options. Mm-hmm. Okay, just give me a second. I'm gonna stop the share for a second. Give me a second here. Okay, share screen. Okay. Oh, rest assured, I see you. There is someone else who is anonymous attendee. You are not anonymous. I see your name. Okay. Okay. Let me go ahead, and while we're here, I'm gonna forward the email for those who wanted the email with the pictures. Just give me a second. Where is it? Okay. Guess, I mean, I'm gonna be here for another 5 minutes. I'll stay for another 5 minutes. I mean, I have no problem. I'll stay till 10 if people just want to hang out and play around. If you have any questions, I am here available. Now, this is a little awkward classroom, quiet. So I see we still have 39 people here. So I imagine that you're just playing around. If I were in a class, I'd be walking around. But I'm here. I'm available if you have any questions. Playing around and trying to figure out different things. I'm emailing those who requested an email of the graphics. Teacher. Okay. Okay. Sent. All right, for those who asked for the presentation, I just went ahead and sent it to you. So enjoy. Okay, so Naftali, the PowerPoint for practice is I sent you the documents. I thought I also sent some PDFs to practice. I have another document here. Let me show you. I'm going to open it. Improving. We're going green test. So here, this is, maybe something that you want to try to figure out and play around with. So we're going green test. Used a bunch of different graphics. Got some graphics here. Choose this theme. Got a paper clip. Okay, so Excel will probably, just since someone asked, Excel we're going to start in 2 weeks because I figure that the PowerPoint sessions will take probably 2 classes for each module because I don't want to go too fast and there's a lot of information and different stuff that we will be doing. So I would imagine Excel would be in probably 1.5 to 2 weeks, depending on how quickly we get through the next 2 modules. This completes the first PowerPoint module, and there's 3 modules in PowerPoint. Okay, so Steve, now when you start the slide, show in presenters mode. So when you go to the slideshow option up on top here, you go slide, and then there's a little tick here. Use presenter view. So if you select that, what that will do is every time you start your presentation, it will always include the presenter view. If you unselect it, then it will just show you the slideshow, but not the presenter's view. So that's how you access the presenter's mode. Okay, Khani, as far as the new one for practice, I included all the practice ones on the email that Rabbi Wordy sent out last week. So there was nothing new that I had not included on the previous one. This is just a continuation of that module, so I had already initially emailed all those options out already. Okay, so while we're at it here, I could show you, someone asked for a PDF. I realized I don't believe I sent these out as a PDF, but right now it's a PowerPoint. I want to send it as a PDF. So notice here, save as type, right? So PowerPoint presentation. But I don't want to save it as a PowerPoint presentation because let's say I'm sending some documentation that I don't want to be manipulated. I don't want people to change the data or the information. I need to protect it. So save as type, I save as a PDF and I press save. And now it's saved as a PDF, and then it will automatically open. That's a setting that I have. It will automatically open, and now that document will be a PDF of what I created in PowerPoint. So it will be a protected PDF document that was designed in PowerPoint. So if I could go also to my other, see this one, it's interesting because this one does the full background on it. I don't know why. This is Ion. I don't know why the other one I downloaded didn't do a full background. But let me save as, kind of browse. And I want to change the document type to PDF. And press save. And there you have it. Now my presentation is a PDF document. Okay, so Henny, I'm not sure where you saw the recovery task pane, but what you're referring to is there's a feature with Word, with Microsoft Documents, that it has an auto recover. It has an auto save option, and let's say your computer bombs out or you close it, your computer closes out suddenly, you don't have a chance to save it. What it will do is it will have some backup saves that you could recover your last document. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of that you would maybe be referring to or seeing. Okay, so Jack, for notes, I think, is that what you're referring to? Your question is, oh, would you please show again how you added the line note option to the right of the slide? So I would, if that's what you're referring to, I would just go back to your paragraph styling, because it's just a standard text. So you just select where the alignment is, hello out there, okay, and then you could just control where you want that located. So that's, if you're referring to that, then that's how you would be able to manipulate, because you have all your font tools up here. Okay, so Khani, as far as saving your document as a PDF, that is very helpful, especially if your intention is only to just to share the information but protect the content. So you want to make sure that no one manipulates the information that you're sending over, whether it's moving things around, whether it's changing themes, whether it's changing the text. So when you save it as a PDF, it's exactly the way your presentation looks. It's just you cannot manipulate it. It's protected. So that would be the advantage of a PDF. So if you were to share a document with a customer, with a client, with friends, or anywhere, for the most part, I mean, I always do, unless I'm sharing this document with the intention of them, being able to manipulate it and control it, I normally just send these presentations as a PDF and share it like that, because a PDF is just there to look at the information and view through it. The PowerPoint is there for a presentation, which you want to keep for yourself, because if you're giving this presentation, you don't want anyone else to manipulate it. Oh, okay. So if I go back, so Jack, if I go back to printing mode, and I go to footer and header, footer. So here it shows me slide number, footer, header. Here I have both footer and header. So it looks like that I don't have that much control over the right or the left. It's just gonna put down exactly. Oh, I think, interesting, 1 second. You see? Oh, that's interesting. So it seems that the location of the date or the footer is dependent on the style of the presentation. So here, if you notice, when I'm selecting the slide number, it has all these little dark grayed out buttons, right? So if I select the date will be put right there. If I select the slide number goes up there. And if I select the footer, it then now gets, this is a test, okay, and I'll apply to all, and there you have it, you see? So this is a test, 520, number 2. If I go to page 1, there I have it. Can't see it because it's on the picture, but that's where I'm able to manipulate those settings. Yeah, Yechiel, you are not able to convert that PDF back to a PowerPoint. It doesn't, once you convert it to a PDF, it doesn't recognize it as any other document. It's just like a digital paper. It doesn't have any PowerPoint properties to it. So PowerPoint, if you try to convert it to PowerPoint, it doesn't know what to do with it because it doesn't look at it as a PowerPoint presentation. So Henya, as far as so Microsoft Word, if you, let's say, closed out your Word documents or different documents, and because normally if I made changes and I want to exit out, this is what your default is going to tell you: save, don't save, or cancel, right? But what happens if you accidentally hit your power off button and it shuts everything down, so it bypasses all those questions? So Word or any of the Microsoft programs will capture the last saved point, and then when you open up that program again, it will give you an option to recover the last thing that you did. So you may have done more changes and after you had already saved it. Because there is a feature called autosave. I think it's by default. I think it's default. Let me see something here. Oh, okay, here it is. You see, so I went into the PowerPoint options. Let me show you again. So I went into my access toolbar, I do more commands, and I go into save. Okay, so this is important to see. Save auto recover information every 10 minutes. Okay, and keep the last auto recovered version if I close without saving. So this is important to have, and maybe you want to change that even more often, and maybe you want to do it every 5 minutes. Maybe you're doing so many different small changes, or you're editing something that maybe you get so involved in it that it could go by 20 minutes and you don't remember to save it. So you could change this setting that every 10 minutes at this point, it will just save it automatically. So if you close it or you forget to save and you come back to it, it will be left within 10 minutes of the last save. So that's always a good thing to know where to find it and to set it up. Oh, I gotcha. Thank you, Jack. Guess this platform you need a lot of patience because I can't. You have to keep explaining what it is you're asking, and I'm doing my best. So thank you. So if I go to Control P and I'm in my Paint here, the 3 slides option gives you that option to have your lines on the side. That's where your 3 slides. That's the only option where it allows you to have, I guess, just space-wise and symmetrically, it's with the three slides that gives you have enough room to comfortably write and also look at the slide itself. I hope that answered your question. Okay, Steve, so when you start the slideshow, it defaults a slide to a full screen and I don't see the complete screen you were showing us. So I guess my question would be, when you're starting your slideshow, if you have the presenter view. Otherwise, I'm not sure to what you are referring to, because that's the whole thing, right there. So I don't know what else you would be looking at if you were to set up a slideshow, unless you select the presenter view right here, and then that will show you the other options as well. Okay, Hani, I think this is the last answer, the last question. Okay, I'll show you again how to auto-save. So anyone who's still on, let me show you again how to auto-save, because this is, again, a very, very helpful tool to make sure that you have, if not on already, and maybe customize it to your specific needs. So you're gonna go to more commands, and you're gonna go to save. So these are your PowerPoint options, okay? So your general proofing, save language, this is all a lot of the back-end settings that you could play around with. So if you go to save and you have save presentations, save file in this format, so you want it as a PowerPoint presentation, and save auto recover information every 10 minutes. So there's two things going on here. There's the auto recover information every 10 minutes. So every 10 minutes, PowerPoint will save your document, whether you remember to save it or not. And the next selection would be, is keep the last auto-recovered version if I close without saving. So what this does is it helps also organize your files. So you may just want to keep these auto saves on a different file than where you're actually saving it, just so you don't get cluttered. So this shows you a path, and you could obviously move it wherever you want, but this will be in the users. It's in my user in app data file by roaming Microsoft PowerPoint, and then after that it will save it based on this name. Okay, so that is where you set up your auto recover saves. Okay, thank you very much. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Wow, my throat is dry. It's a lot of talking. Okay, I hope you have an awesome evening. Have a wonderful Shabbos weekend, and I will see you guys next, or at least chat with you guys, talk at you and chat with you next Monday night. I will send out an email with all the next programs information for you, so you'll be able to have all the documents and all the graphics. Okay, have an awesome evening. All the best. Stop share. Have a good night. And